Welcome back to the channel. I am Dial here with another movie review. We are once again getting back into the Alien franchise. Alien Romulus is going to be out in theaters this weekend, so I went back and reviewed all the primary Alien films, not including the Predator movies and Alien vs. Predator. I'll probably talk about those at a later date, but we're mainly going to be talking about the Alien films. So I have reviewed all the Alien films up until this point: Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and Prometheus. If you haven't seen my reviews for those, check out my channel. It is going to be on a playlist called Alien. But this is the final film until Alien Romulus. Today we are going to be talking about Alien Covenant that came out in 2017, once again directed by Ridley Scott. So, coming off of Prometheus, I was very disappointed with that film, especially because that was the first time that Ridley Scott has came back to the Alien franchise since the first Alien movie, and I thought he would be the one to help bring back the franchise. But unfortunately, Prometheus, I didn't like at all. Um, once again, it's just my enthusiasm for the Alien franchise is pretty much gone at this point. And if Ridley Scott couldn't, bring us a good Alien film, I don't know who else could. Well, James Cameron, but he's too busy with the Alien, with the Avatar films. He's too busy making the Avatar sequels, so I didn't think he would have time to come back to the Alien franchise, nor would he be interested in coming back to the Alien movies at this point. So when it came to them doing a continuation off of Prometheus, I could care less because Ridley Scott was in the making of doing a direct sequel to Prometheus. But I think after the lukewarm response of Prometheus, I think he decided to go in a slightly different direction. Not completely, but I think he then decided to go back to some of the familiar roots from the older films. Hence, we got Alien Covenant. So, this continuation is not going to be another like weird title. It's not going to be like Prometheus 2. It's not going to be called like Paradise. That was like one of the rumored names of the continuation. But no, it's going to be a straight up Alien film, which will act as, an Alien film at the same time being kind of a continuation from Prometheus. So I was like, okay, I guess so. I think it's good that we should go back to basics as much as possible because with them trying to do these crazy concepts with the franchise, it just hasn't been working out very well for them. So when it came to the trailers for this, it looked pretty good as far as visual wise. It looks really good. It looks grittier than Prometheus, but still having that amazing cinematography and special effects. The cast they had for this also looked really, really good. Michael Fassbender once again coming back. We have Catherine Watterson, who I really enjoyed in the Fantastic Beasts movies. Danny McBride, I was surprised that he was in this film as well. Billy Crudup, that I really enjoyed him in Watchmen and the Snyder Cut of Justice League. James Franco as well. I didn't expect for him to be in this movie, but I was interested to see what he was going to do. Guy Pearce, once again, the cast in here was very, very good. Hoping that they'll give them better writing in this than they did in Prometheus. Um, and yeah, just like uh, I like that is while it does have that like that larger than life scope that Prometheus had, it feels like once again it's getting back to what we want to see, and it's the aliens, the xenomorphs attacking, keeping it simple. So I'm not expecting this movie to be like straight up simple like the first couple of movies, but because they still want to, continue the storyline of Prometheus and the engineers and all that mumbo jumbo, but hopefully, this will be a little bit more straightforward and we'll actually have clear answers because there wasn't a lot of clear answers in Prometheus. And maybe some people like that there wasn't clear answers in Prometheus, but for me, it was very frustrating. So, hopefully, this will be cool. Looks like there was going to be another type of alien species in here. along with the return of the original xenomorph, or what it looked like the original xenomorph from the first movie. It might not be the exact one, but it looked very similar to the first xenomorph in Alien. So I don't know. It did look promising. So once again, I went in with low expectations. But I'm always expecting the best. Going in there with an open mind. Though what I will also say is that before the movie came out, Ridley Scott released this prologue clip called "The Last Supper," which focused on the crew of the Covenant. The Covenant is the ship because, yeah, of course, they're naming the alien, subtitles after the ships of the movie, which is cool. But it mainly focused on the crew of the Covenant. They're all like, having, hanging out, partying before they have to go into cryo sleep, because their ship is carrying a colony, to um, help them find a new planet for them to live on. So they're pretty much just interacting, bonding before they have to go into cryo sleep. And I actually really liked that clip, and I really wish they found a way to put that in the movie because I think that really helps you know, give a little bit of character development with the crew and actually getting to know them personality wise and the chemistry between all of them, slightly making me care more about, the humans in this movie. And especially because James Franco, that's the most we see of him from this movie is in that Last Supper clip. So I thought the clip was really good, but part of me was wondering why that wasn't in the final cut of the movie. So I digress with that. But sitting down and watching Alien Covenant, what did I think? It's 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 meh. Yeah, that's all I got for it. It's meh. It's halfway a decent movie, and then half of it is more of the garbage I didn't like from Prometheus. So it feels half and half. Um, this it does feel a little bit more like an alien film, which the when it's focused on being an alien movie, it's pretty decent. It has entertaining moments. When it's focused on the Prometheus storyline, I thought that was ass. I'm going to be very honest with you. I did not care about the Prometheus storyline in this at all. And I think there's just a massive tonal issue when it came to this because it wants to be a traditional alien action movie, and then it still wants to have those high concepts and heavy thought provoking stuff from Prometheus, which once again I do not feel fulfilled with them going through this stuff with the engineers and the creation of the xenomorphs and stuff like that. It's like I was very frustrated with it, to be honest. I'll say this is more entertaining than Prometheus and Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. If you want to do proxies, I guess this could be the third best Alien film, but that's not saying a lot to me. Really, I don't know what he's trying to do with this franchise. I don't know why he's going out of his way to have this stuff with the engineers that nobody really cares about. And as far as Michael Fassbender as David, um, and he also plays a different android in this called Walter, who's the main android for the Covenant. So he's playing two different roles in here. And I will say, Michael Fassbender's performance in here is pretty good. I really liked it, especially when he's, you know, acting off of himself. I think that's some of the best performances in the movie, to be honest. So I don't have a problem with his performance necessarily. I just have a problem with the writing because I didn't like David in Prometheus, and it's just more exemplified here in Alien Covenant because I just I don't understand um I don't understand David's motivation, to be honest. It's just like, is he just a malfunctioning android that's being that he has too much emotions and he has too much curiosity with the alien species and the xenomorph stuff and the engineers, and to where he's going to put humans in danger. So it's like that stuff just really kind of just confused me and upset me more than anything. And I once again, like, all the stuff with David and stuff is like tonally clashing with the the stuff with the Covenant and the aliens and stuff like that. It's like it didn't feel like these two stories are supposed to be mixing with one another. Um, but what I will say, when it comes to the crew with the Covenant, I do think that is the better story. That's the more interesting story. But even then, I don't think it is great. The crew overall, I think, are fine. They're fine. I think they're a little bit more fleshed out than the crew in Prometheus, but I think a lot of them still follow the really dumb, you know, decision making that they did in Prometheus. So this ship called the Covenant, as I said earlier, is a colonization ship. So they're taking about thousands of people in cryosleep, and they're sending them to the new planet to find a new place to live, obviously. And and after they get a distress call, um, being brought to their ship, they decide midway through their mission to go to this distressed planet where they believe that it has better inhabitants for the humans than their original destination. And I just thought that was probably the dumbest decision they ever could have done. Because like they didn't take time to study the planet overall. They don't know the inhabitants of the planet. They don't know how the plant life is. They don't know if there's any other creatures inhabiting that planet. And so they just decide to stop with their main mission to go into the planet that they actually took years to study. They actually, put in the resources to go to that specific planet that they're originally supposed to go to, but they decide to stop because there's like this space incursion that happens to their ship, and a couple of the pods of the cryopods got destroyed, and a few of the crew on there got killed, and so they are scared to go back into the cryo sleep because of one random space occurrence that happens out of nowhere. Um, I honestly think that's not a smart decision on them, and so it was hard for me to really root for them to survive. Um, outside of the fact that I do like these actors, but as characters, I don't really buy it. And it once again, going back to that Last Supper clip that was released on YouTube, it was a mistake for them not to include that into the film. Because if we're going off of this cold, because they literally start off with them in cryosleep, and then the space incursion happens, and then the couple of crew members get killed or whatever. And so we don't, like, if you have not seen that Last Supper clip on YouTube and you're going off of what you're seeing from them in the movie, there's not a lot of dimension with them, really. Like, you don't really have time to get to know all of them as characters. You don't really understand like their mind space, their psyche about going on this colonization mission. And as far as like the deaths that do happen in the beginning of the movie, it falls flat because you don't have that context from the Last Supper. You don't know who these characters are. James Franco, for example, is like the only time you see him in the movie is in like old video footage that Catherine Waterston is watching. So I thought that was a big disappointment on their part. As far as the cast themselves, Catherine Waterston as Daniels, I thought she was good. She was good. She was probably one of the better human characters in the movie. She might end up being one of my favorites. Um, Once again, I can't. I'm not gonna try and compare her to Ripley because you can't really compare her to Ripley. But as a character by herself, I thought she did a solid job. Once again, when she has to get into action, when she has to make those hard decisions of making sure everybody survives, for the most part, she's able to carry a good amount of the film there. Um, Danny McBride, I actually was surprised as Tennessee because he was one of the actors that I felt was kind of out of place in this, but he actually did a really good job, and was he actually was taking the role seriously. He did have his funny moments, obviously, but when it came to the serious, scary moments, he actually took that seriously. I didn't feel like he was hamming it up too much. I appreciated that. Billy Crudup, I didn't really care for him, to be honest. Like he was just that hard ass um, you know, captain that wasn't really listening to anybody and making probably some of the dumbest decisions in the movie, like really blockheaded decisions. Like I almost wanted to yell at the screen to be like, "What the hell are you doing?" So I had really had a hard time like caring for his character because like he's just he had it coming. I'm just gonna say it. Um, as far as the other crew members, they were fine. There's not much to say about the rest of the crew. They served their purpose. Most of them really felt like cannon fodder, to be honest. Um, and just the being the prey for the aliens in here. So that's all they this really served their purpose. Nothing really bad about them. Nothing really great about them. As far as the aliens in here, they have the new alien in here called the Neomorph, which I thought was a really sick design for the aliens. He almost looked like a naked mole rat with piranha teeth. So I thought, and had spikes on his back and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really really cool design, and had some of the most brutal like kills in the movie. Like one thing I will say when it comes to the alien kills in this is probably one of the most brutal alien films I've seen in a while. There's a lot of bloody gore and stuff like that, but it's not like too much. It's not like gratuitous gore and blood, but it's like it definitely had the gore and blood in here in the right moments, and I thought it was absolutely awesome to exemplify the danger of the xenomorphs in here. So I'm glad that Ridley Scott was going back to the sci-fi horror roots that I missed from the older films. Um, and overall, the concept of how that neomorph got created, I thought that was very fascinating, and it did seem kind of like really fast and like convenient with how it was created, because it was created by this like mist that you see in the trailer. So it's like the mist gets into a person's system and then it immediately impregnates the humans, and then it just bursts out of their chest or their back brutally, and it grows really really fast. It goes from a baby to an adult within a couple hours. Like that was really insane. I mean, that's the kind of concepts that I think they should have like put more focus on, because I really want to know more about that. It's not just face huggers anymore. It's like these weird black mist that's created. So I thought all that was really, really cool. And then as far as the main xenomorph that looks very similar to the design from the first Alien film, I really liked it too. There's a little bit more emphasis on CGI for the xenomorphs and the practical effects, which didn't really bother me because like they still looked really really good. Of course, I always love to see practical effects when it comes to the xenomorphs, but Ridley Scott is so attention to detail when it comes to the CGI and the cinematography and the special effects. Like he only uses CGI when it's absolutely necessary, when he has to enhance anything as far as the movements of the aliens and the spaceships and the cinematography. So this is a good example of using CGI in a good way, where it's able to where you're still immersed into the world, but yeah, you could tell that the aliens are moving faster and more agile. So there's only so much that practical alien costumes could do. So I was completely fine with it. The action set pieces with the xenomorph I thought was really really cool. It was very suspenseful. It was very intense. Um, yeah, I was just happy to see that design of the xenomorph because we were used to seeing this a similar design from what we saw from Aliens, and they pretty much kept that like similar design with the movies after that. So it was nice to go back to that original design or something that looks very similar to that. Um, but yeah, overall, I thought the movie was very mid. It was very mid. It didn't get me back into the Alien franchise, but there is some stuff in here that I did have entertaining time with. the humans still aren't that interesting outside of like three of them, 3 or 4 of them. Um, and the rest of the crew is either just being served as, kills for the aliens, or they're just making stupid decisions once again that just really annoys me. The David character, I don't really care for him at all, and I didn't really care when they went back to the whole engineer stuff because I don't care about that storyline, and like the answers they do give with the engineers or all that, I don't feel fulfilled after seeing that. And then they also go out their way to have David be connected to how xenomorphs and facehuggers are created, and that just pissed me off to no end. Um, I mean, yes, did I want them to be more to actually commit to being a prequel to Alien? Sure. But I thought the way they did it with David, it just felt very contrived. So in a way, I did get what I asked for, but still didn't end up being as well written as I thought it would be. I just don't like the David character. I just don't. Um, his motivations don't make any sense to me. And yeah, just overall the tonal clash of this between the storylines with Prometheus and the storylines with the alien stuff. I don't know. It just didn't feel like they were supposed to be in the same film, and just like the tones are just clashing constantly. But still, it's a gorgeous looking movie. The action set pieces are really good. The gore, the sci-fi horror, the tension is still there. It still has some really cool moments and set pieces, but I don't know. I don't know if this franchise could ever get back to the glories of the first 2 movies. I'm hoping Alien Romulus will do that, but only time will tell. So I will give Alien Covenant, I will give it a C. Yeah, I'm in the middle on it, it's not a movie that I will revisit over and over again compared to Alien and Aliens, but compared to everything else we got in the franchise, I guess this is one of the better ones by proxy. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Alien Covenant. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was okay? How does it compare to the previous Alien films? Did you like that they were going back to the traditional Alien storylines, or did you want them to focus more on the Prometheus stuff? Or did you like that they mixed those two together? Comment your thoughts down below and let me know. So, I have reviewed all the Alien films, the primary Alien films. So now all we have to do is talk about Alien Romulus. I'm going to go see it this weekend, and I'll give you guys my review for that. So tune in for it when it comes out. But if you guys enjoyed this review, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell if you want to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. But that's all I have for you Alien fans, and I'll catch you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.